is they've taken the slower group from the previous race, and because we can see some of those cars there are reasonably slow. Well, that's unfair, they're not slow, but they're not the quickest out on the track. So they will be the first group away. And I see Steve Cox at the front there and his Opel Vectra. And alongside that, it's car number 78, which is James Kerrigan, Toyota Kerrigan. And we're just looking to see where, I haven't seen Chris Watson out there yet. Yes, there's Chris there. He's just in front of George Mediva. He's got Paul Smith behind him. Him and Paul were having a great scrap in that last race, so it looks like they're set to continue that battle. We look further down the field and we will see our car, our little number 19 car, the little Peugeot 205 GTI with the unknown driver in it. Whoever he is, he's obviously quite a skilled pilot because he was doing very, very well. He managed to stay in front of Richard McCarthy, and Richard is a very good peddler himself, so I didn't see Richard out there this time. Be a shame if he's not there. I can see the Plastics Constructions van down in the pits. So as they form up onto the grid proper, on pole position we will have car number 78, which is James Kerrigan. Alongside him we will have Steve Cox. Then we go back on position. Who have I got in position through? Oh, nearly got a collision on the start finish line. Okay, then we've got car number 623, which is Peter Gunther. He's next, and then car number 96, Brett Carey with the Nissan King Parts World sponsored Nissan Bluebird. Then car number 244, which is Simon Coleman and Toyota Current. Car number 123, and that is John Stewart and Toyota Celica. We go back to car 74, which is Oscar Drummond and an MR2, and car number 6, which is Stuart Reed and a Toyota Current. We go back to car number 132, which is Lance McCauley and another Celica, and then car number 63, which is Jason Mudgway and a lovely Nissan Primera, beautifully presented motor car. Car number 71 is Rob Turnbull, and he's got alongside him Chris Watson. So that's the first group away, but Watson and Turnbull are going to be the next group away, and they've got car number 323 behind them, which is Simon Rollison, and car 555, which is Darren McDonald. Big group of those going away there as well. So we look further up the track, and it's the two Peugeot 205 GTIs on the front row, which is no Racing Ray Williams. We obviously lost Racing Ray. The two 205 GTIs are there at the front, and there we see car number 38, which is Tyson Jemmett, has made a very good start as well. Tyson's the man to keep an eye on, and then it's the two Dunkleys as well, Mark and Paul Dunkley. Paul being dad and Mark being the boy, the son, and Mark's the quick peddler. He's the guy that's been running the Formula 5000, the old Formula 5000, 1968 Lola 142 against the likes of Kenny Smith and co, and he's been doing a very good job. So he's a quick peddler, keep an eye on him. So at the front we've got Steve Cox. Steve Cox of F40 fame. If anybody ever remembers the F40 that was built by Andy Culp in a Race FX, he built 3 or 4 of them. Steve Cox has raced one, he's still got one. It's a very, very fast car, but he's decided he wants to have a crack at 2K Cup, and not a man to be involved with Japanese cars. He's bought himself an Opel, and he finds himself in that group. So as we move further back in the field, let's have a look. We see the two little Peugeots have been, one of them still holding on the front of his group, but unfortunately it looks like Richard McCarthy's been gobbled up by a couple there. It looks like Paul Dunkley has got past him. And at the front now, we've had car number 96 is at the front, which is Mark Grover in the Nissan Bluebird. And keeping an eye back, and there's James Watson gone through in car number 2. He's well up there. We're looking for Chris Watson, car number 5. Yeah, he's gone through and he's having a battle with car 60, which is Greg McQuaid and one of the Toyota Celicas. Looking a little bit further back Paul Dunkley's just got in front of Tyson Jemmett, so keep an eye on Dunkley and Jemmett, because Jemmett will try and stick to Dunkley, because he's a quick peddler, Tyson Jemmett, and that's a reasonably quick car he's got there. But those little Toyota Levins are very, very fast. Both the Dunkley cars are extremely quick cars, so we need to keep an eye on them. As we look at the back down the field, we can see that the Nissan Primera of Brett Carey has still got a good lead, and he's just opened that up over Steve Cox in the Opel Vectra. Go back to car number 163 there, and we don't have car 163 on our sheet. And looking to see, I can see Chris Watson involved in the middle of that little battle group there, and car number 19, the little Peugeot 10205 GTI, he's having a bit of an argument with Mark Dunkley, and he's obviously a bit aggrieved about it, so he's going to try and hold Dunkley out again as they go into Metalman Corner. It's getting just a tad crowded down there. Meanwhile, car 96, Nissan King, Nissan Bluebird flies across the line. Smart looking car, followed by Steve Cox. Car number 123 and 132 next through, which is John Stewart and Lance McCauley. As we look a little bit further back, I can see George Madiba going through there. There's Chris Watson, and he's having a good argument there with Mark Dunkley, or sorry, Paul Dunkley. Mark Dunkley seems to have been held back. He hasn't got any further up the field than he did before. Looking for James Watson. He's in there somewhere, and he was doing very, very well before he'd made some good positions up. So can't see where he is at this point in time. I've given up believing in Race Monitor. That doesn't tell me the truth anymore either. So as we go back to the front of the field again, it is still number 96, Mark Grover, in the it's either Grover or Brett Carey, one of the two, in the Nissan Bluebird, the Nissan King sponsored car. And Steve Cox still holding down a very good second position. Looking into the field here now, I can't see car. I'm looking for car number 2. He must be further up the field. There's car number 5, which is Chris Watson, and he's been shuffled well back there. So he's somehow missed out on got caught up in a bit of heavy traffic. Car number 77 and second to last through. So here's the Nissan King Bluebird across the line for one more throw. Good bit of driving there from those guys. It looks like Steve Cox is about to lose a position to Lance McCauley as they go down into turn 1. Looking for car number 2. Where is he? There's Mark Dunkley coming through there. Paul Dunkley through. We've lost car number 2 altogether, so obviously James Watson is not out there. Either that or he's parked somewhere. I didn't see him. I'm sure I saw him start. But he's obviously not there anymore, so it's a bit of a shame. So if we go back to our little battle group at the front, and it's still that Nissan King Bluebird is doing very, very well. Look at him. He's whichever driver is in it, either Carey or Grover, whichever of you it is, you're doing a great job. So we go back to the next position, which is car 132. Oh no, there's James Watson. He's up into position 3. But if we look a little bit not too far back, I can see there's the Dunkleys. No, Mark Dunkley's is quite a way back from there. Car number 132 trying to make a pass on the lead. No, that's James Watson. James Watson is trying to put a pass on Lance McCauley as they come up the hill, with the Celica in the front as they come across the top. No, it's not. We've lost the Celica. Where's he gone? He's gone back to, sorry, the Bluebird's gone back third. James Watson hits the front with McCauley through second. Then Steve Cox. No, we've lost the Bluebird altogether. He's disappeared. So I'm not sure where he's gone, but he's disappeared off track somewhere. Great shame. I put the commentator's hex on them. I was just praising on how well they were doing, and then they've gone. So back to the front, and it is now James Watson in the lead from Lance McCauley. And in third position across the stripe, it is going to be Steve Cox, but he's been gobbled up now. So there was Darren McDonald, by the looks of things, was the next man through, and then John Stewart. So if we go back to the front, it's definitely James Watson at the front, and then McCauley in second, Who's the next man through? If I can pick the number up from here, it's car 555, by the looks of things, which is going to be Darren McDonald. Darren McDonald, and then 333 was the next man through, and that was Craig Tyre. So Mark Dunkley is buried right back there. He's having a devil's own job trying to get through to these guys. And they're 4 or 5 abreast down the straight. He's pinched a brake going down there. He's trying to get past them, and of course the door keeps closing as he gets to them, but that's what handicap racing is all about. If you're behind, you're behind. Just because you're in a handicap race, the guy in front of you does not have to get out of your way. But Dunkley's doing a great job. Look at this, he's just threading his way through these guys. He's just put a pass on George Madiba, and he's got past, where's Tyson Jemmett? Tyson Gemmett's about 5 or 6 cars behind him. He's not having a lot of luck getting through there either. Dunkley's doing a better job of the traffic. Meanwhile, we've got James Watson has opened up a gap on Macaulay. And then we've got the next man through is going to be Darren McDonald. So it's Watson, Macaulay, McDonald, and then we go back to Craig Tyre. And Dunkley can't be too far away from them now because he'd been sliced through quite a few cars on that last lap. Yeah, here I can see him. He's currently sitting in 6th position as they come up the hill. He's going to go and try for the outside. No, he's really trying to put the acid onto Simon Rollinson, but he's not having, sorry, Craig Tyre, but Craig's not having anything of that. He's not going to be influenced that way. But Dunkley has gone for the inside going down in the Metalman corner. That little Toyota Levin has got some good straight line squirt, so he does have the ability to put the pass on. So he's now in the 4th position. So it's just a matter of him closing the gap down now. Here comes James Watson through across the stripe now. Let's see what sort of times James is doing. Once again, race monitor's gone west on me. Okay. Well, once again, we've lost race monitor, so it's come back. So let's have a look what James Watson's doing. James Watson last time around was 126.292 and Mark Dunkley was at 125.8. So there's not a lot of difference in lap times between them, but I've got a funny feeling once Dunkley gets out of the traffic, I think we could see him close down that gap to Watson. Although catching Watson is one thing, passing him is going to be a whole different ball game. So Mark Dunkley is now in a 4th position as they climb the hill. And he's still sitting there behind Darren McDonald. No, he's not. He's just put the pass on Darren McDonald going down into... McDonald's squeezing him, though. He's not going to let him get away with it. But he's already done it, unfortunately. So it's now McDonald from Macaulay from Dunkley. Watson's well up the road. He's got he's coming out of Metalman as they're going into it. And Dunkley's put the pass on Darren Lance Macaulay. Like I said, he's a very accomplished race driver, is Mark Dunkley. Unfortunately, a lot of these guys just see him coming and they just jump out of his way. So, but he won't get that luck when he gets to James Watson, because James is a cunning little devil and he will make sure that Dunkley has to work very, very hard. Well, firstly, Dunkley's got to get to him. Here's Paul Dunkley gone past. He's trying to go around the outside of George Madiba. They're 3 abreast through turn 1. Good driving by the 2K Cup guys. You know, a lot of people thought this was going to be carnage when this series started, but the driving has been incredibly clean the whole way through. And people are giving each other room, and I'm just looking down the track now. I finally found car number 96, our former leader. He must have had a big off somewhere because he's driving around by himself. So here comes James Watson up the hill. Dunkley's using every bit of road he can find. He was right out on the grass there coming out of Pepsi Max corner. He's trying extremely hard to get close to James Watson. This last time around, James was a 126.9, Dunkley was a 125.8, so there was just over a second a lap quicker than Dunkley was a second a lap quicker than James Watson. So if we look a little bit further into the pack, we can see Mark Dunkley in there. Steve Cox has been dropped right back through the field now. As Chris Watson is still out there, he's He's making his way up. He did end up at the back there at one stage, but he's starting to follow his way back up the field. There goes James Watson across the line. Here comes Dunkley across the line now. And look who's right behind Dunkley. It's Tyson Jemmett. Now this is going to be interesting, because Dunkley's focusing on trying to catch James Watson, but he's not watching on what's happening behind him. And Tyson Jemmett's coming at him, and he's coming at him fast and hard as well. So when Tyson Jemmett gets to the back of Mark Dunkley, he's going to have a fight on his hands. Good pass going on there for 4th place or 5th place between. So Darren McDonald just put a pass. Sorry, Mark Mallard put a pass on Darren McDonald. So let's look at the lap times again. Watson last time round was a 126.5. Dunkley set his fastest time of the race at 124.8. He's trying very hard, but look in your rear vision mirror, Mark. There's a set of headlights on a Honda Indigo ablaze, and he's coming after you. Dunkley's really trying hard. He's right off the track. Mind you, Tyson Jemmett's trying the same thing as well. James Watson, look at these guys, 3 abreast through the infield. This great bit of driving. Nobody's touching it, but this is fantastic driving by these guys. So back to the front, and we're looking at the James Watson as he comes up the hill here, and he'll be looking at his rear vision mirror. I can see Tyson Jemmett's really just trying so hard. He's kicked up a bit of dirt as he's apexed that corner there. Dunkley is coming, and Watson can see him. Like I said, catching him is one thing, passing him is going to be a whole different ball game. Meanwhile, Paul Dunkley goes past, and that Toyota Levin is sounding very sick and horrible. Great little battles going on here with the little Peugeot 10205 GTI there. And, oh, there's Richard McCarthy having a rear brake lock-up as the little 205 GTI turns into a tripod going into turn 1. Back to the front, and the gap is visibly closing now between Watson and Dunkley. James Watson trying very, very hard to keep Dunkley, but Dunkley's going to get to him. There's no two ways about it. That Toyota Levin has got 4 more straight line squirt than the little Toyota MR2. But like I said, catching is one thing, getting past is another, and James can be quite a cunning devil when he wants to be. So if he holds up, although Dunkley's now opened up the gap to Tyson Jemmett, but once he catches James Watson, if he gets into a fight with James Watson, Tyson Jemmett's going to be all over them like a hot rash. Up the hill they come. We've got 18 minutes to go, so there's got plenty of time. Look at Dunkley, he's chucking that thing in sideways into turn 1. James Watson sees him coming. Dunkley's going to try and do something down. I'd say he's going to try and pick it down into Pepsi Max. He's going to try and worry him down there. If he ends up getting caught behind Watson, he's going to be stuck there for a while. He's going to have to make his move very quickly, otherwise he's not going to get it carried out very at all. Well, he will get it carried out. He's wrong-footed. Good bit of driving there by Dunkley. He wrong-footed James to the inside of the track, and forced James to take a tight line. He went wide and he came out wide, which gave him a better line coming up the hill. So good bit of driving by Mark Dunkley. I said if he didn't do it then, he was going to get caught for a few laps while he was trying to fight with James Watson. That was going to give Tyson Jemmett the chance to catch them. As we move a little bit further back down the field, we've got Paul Dunkley now sitting in 4th position. Those Toyota Levins are very fast little cars, so we just have to wait and see. But Paul's car is making some horrible noises. He did say to me this morning that when I came past, they were sitting on the side of the motorway with it. He said, I think it might be dead. But he has made it get through the day, so that's something. So here we go. We've got Mark Dunkley at the front. From James Watson, Tyson Jemmett. And as you're going to hear Paul Dunkley going past us now. Then we go back to car number 333, which is Craig Tyre, and then we've got car number 19, which is the little Peugeot 205 GTI behind him. Car number 123 has moved back there. That's John Stewart and the Toyota Celica, and he's got He's got Richard McCarthy right behind him in the other 205 GTI. Whoa, car number 96, and that's a Bluebird. It's all over the track. He was going so well earlier on today. Now look at the scrap going on here between Tyson Jemmett and James Watson. Tyson Gemmett's gone right to the outside of the track, and he's going to get the pass done on James Watson. I just don't think that little Toyota MR2 has got enough squirt in a straight line, because he's just been out-dragged twice. He makes a good, tries to make a good fist of it going into Metalman corner, but Tyson Jemmett just shuts the door. Move a little bit further back, and we've got 4 or 5 cars abreast going down into Metalman corner. Great driving by these guys. They're having a lot of fun out there. This is a great class of motor racing. If you ever want to get into motor racing, $2,000 gets you a car. All you need to do is helmet and overalls and a competition license, and you're out there. That really doesn't sound like a happy car, does it? So, Mark Dunkley's disappearing up the road. Tyson Jemmett has got past James Watson, so he can now focus totally on trying to catch Dunkley. But I just don't think the little Integra has got enough to get close to that Toyota Levin. Dunkley, like I said, is a very accomplished driver as well, so you know, you can combine those two factors and it does make a difference. So they're about to come up and put a lap on our former leader. Car number 244 across the line, that's Simon Coleman. So look at the battle going on there between Smith and Craig Tyre. Not to mention the little Peugeot up there. Here comes Dunkley across the start-finish line. Tyson Jemmett not too far behind. Back James Watson in 3rd position. And the increasingly noisy Paul Dunkley in the other Toyota Levin. Car number 28 across the stripe, and that's Kane Wilson, and he's got the little 205 GTI number 19 behind him. Look back to the field again. We've got $13 minutes to go. So Tyson Jemmett is going to really have to knuckle down now. Mark Dunkley just seems to be opening the taps up further and further. I'll try and give you some lap time differences between the two. Dunkley's last time was a 125.1. Tyson Gemmett's was a 125.1, so they're doing identical times. It doesn't take a mathematician to figure out if you're doing an identical time, you're not going to catch the guy in front. $13 minutes to go. He needs to take about half a second a lap out of Dunkley to actually get close to him, without letting him put the pass on him. So as they move into traffic, we'll see what happens there. So here they come now. There's not going to be a lot of traffic for a little while. There's only one more lapped car to go between them. That's car number 77. That's Matthew Smith, or Nigel Smith, one of the two. And across the stripe we go. It's car number 74 and car number 5, Chris Watson and Oscar Drummond. Those two have been having a fight all the way. Sorry, no, either Nigel Smith, I do apologise. They've been fighting all weekend. Richard McCarthy in the little 205 GTI snaps a brake going down into the dipper. Across the stripe they come, and Mark Dunkley now puts another lap on, and Tyson Jemmett is still the same distance behind him as he was the previous lap, so it doesn't look like there's going to be a lot of difference there. So all Dunkley has to do is keep circulating, and time is running out. We have a call to all sports cars to the dummy grid, please. All sports cars to the dummy grid, please. And we do lose another car off the circuit, which is car number, just trying to pick who that is now, pulling off into the pit lane. Car number 35, so that's Zane Coppins. Great shame. He was going really well earlier in the day. Haven't seen much of him in this race, but he was doing extremely well. So back to our front group, and here they comes Dunkley across the line now. Tyson Jemmett is, I think, just decided that it's just going to be all too hard to try and catch him, so he's just backed off. James Watson across the stripe now. Paul Dunkley comes through behind him, so Paul Dunkley's trying very hard. He's actually chucking that Toyota Levin. He's backing it into the corner, so keep an eye on him. Here come the two Integras, car number 33 and 333, which is Greg Tyre and Paul Smith. Across the stripe here we've got car number 132, which is Lance McCauley. Trying to pick up now, where's Chris Watson? I think this is Chris Watson coming across the stripe now. There's Chris Watson coming through there now. He's got Oscar Drummond just behind him. And Steve Cox comes through now. So where's our leaders got to? Here he comes, a couple of the hill for one more time. And he's definitely opening up a gap now. Drummond has just decided it's just too hard, it's all too hard. You may as well let him go away and hide. There's no point destroying your engine trying to catch them. This guy is just, Dunkley is not backing off. He's absolutely throwing that. Mark Dunkley just puts a pass on James Watson down into turn one, but no, James Watson's taking him back again. He said, no, you don't, you're going to go around the outside. But Mark Dunkley, Paul Dunkley's just hanging in there, and he's going to stick side by side with what, and he's put the pass on. So, those two Toyota Levins, both of them, the white ones out from the Dunkley stable, and there is a third one as well. We haven't seen that this weekend, but they are very, very fast cars. So it's taking nothing away from the drivers. I mean, look at Mark Dunkley now. He's got to say he's got a good lead, and he's still right out into the ripple strips. He's trying extremely hard, as is his dad Paul. He's trying extremely hard as well about the ripple strip, and James Watson's following suit. He's trying to hang on the back of them. Where's Tyson Jemmett? He's put a pass on the two back markers between him and McCauley. Between Dunkley across the line one more time. Jemmett, the next man through. And here comes that extremely noisy Paul Dunkley. So that's the other Dunkley Levin, and that's now up into third position. So that's put James Watson back into fourth place. 33 and 33 are still at it, hammer and tongs. That's having a great scrap there. That's Craig Tyre and Paul Smith. Can't be long to go now. Just checking our race time. Minutes to go. Tyson Gemmen's not going to be able to do anything about Paul Dunkley in the front now. But can James Watson get past back into third position? He'll desperately want a podium. He will be trying very, very hard to get back past Paul Dunkley. Steve Cox still circulating in that open factory. Dunkley through, Tyson Gemmen, the next man through. Let's look further back down the field. We can hear it coming. Here it comes. Paul Dunkley and the other Levin. Four more laps to go, I would say, and we'll be bringing the curtain down on this one for the weekend. As they come up the hill one more time. Watson and Oscar Drummond having a good fight there. Tyson Gemmen across the line one more time. 4 minutes to go now. James Watson's obviously decided that there's no point trying to hang off the back of that noise. It's probably deafening him. He's following it around and the noise is so great he can't stand it, so he's probably backed off of him. So back to the front of the field. Good battle here between Richard McCarthy, George Mendiva, Craig Tyre and Paul Smith. Good scrap between those guys. They're all tied together, and McCarthy's at the front of that little group. Comes Dunkley now, he's going to get the last lap board across the finish line. And he's still locking that inside right rear wheel as he goes down until he's just put a pass on Chris Watson. Paul Dunkley through in third position, James Watson through in fourth. Car number 8 comes through there. That's Mark Mallard. I haven't seen much of him. Here comes Richard McCarthy. He's opened up a little bit of a gap there to George Mendiva. And we've still got the battling, squabbling integers of Craig Tyre and Paul Smith. 555 goes through. That's Darren McDonald. Leader goes through Metalman corner. Second place is just coming into the corner now. as they head up the hill for the last time. Paul Dunkley will take the checkered flag. Put your hands together for him as he comes across the line. Well driven, all the way from the back to the front. That's got to be a brilliant piece of driving. He started last and finished first. Tyson Jemmett through in second position. Great bit of driving from him. Here comes Paul Dunkley through in third place. Great bit of driving. Mark's dad. Then James Watson through, next one through, and he only just got that. He only just got it from Kane Wilson, who was absolutely monstering him on the line. So great bit of driving there from James Watson to hang on. And here comes Richard McCarthy. He's coming across the line next in front of George Madiva and the squabbling duo. Who's going to do it? Smith or Tyre? It was, I think Tyre got there, so that was a great finish between those two, side by side. Darren McDonald across the line in 555. And here comes the final pack. Peter Gunther flashing his lights across the line, car 7160, and Martin Mallard Jason Mudgway in 63. And great racing, terrific stuff from 2K Cup, as it always is. Still one of the best classes of racing in the country, and the cheapest as well. You got to take it. You can't take anything away from these guys. They put together a fantastic race series, and you can thank James Watson, Chris Watson and Richard G for putting this together, and it will go places. All we need now is more cars in the 1.6K Cup. Sorry, the 1.6 Cup.